What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Happy Sunday. I hope you're all having a fantastic weekend. It's Sunday, June 13th, just after 1:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hawk Driver says still out of trading for a couple weeks, but still trying to keep on top of the market. Appreciate all you do. Well, we all miss you in chat, Hawk Driver. Hopefully, you're staying safe out there. And good job keeping on top of the markets. You're staying familiar with what's going on. That way, when you come back, you're not like a lost puppy and, your eyes are everywhere and you're freaking out like, what's been going on? So that's really good on your part. I do the same thing when I go on vacation. I always tell myself I'm going to step away for like a week, 2 weeks, but I always keep one eye in the market. I like to see what's popping off, what's been going on, staying familiar. That way, when I do come back, then I'm not wasting a week trying to get resettled and familiar with what's been going on. And then potentially, losing money too over some dumb decisions. Well, all right, Friday. Seemed like things were popping off Friday. So Friday we live streamed. What did we close out? I think we closed out 4,000 in profit on the day. We were done by noon. But Friday in the morning, it was pretty slow. And then right after noon, it seemed like everything wanted to pop off. That's been the theme all week pretty much. The mornings, they open up, you get one quick pop, failed continuation, things slowly fade off. Then we go to lunch, and then at around 1 p.m., 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, things just start popping off and running. So Friday, we had LEDS go from 17 to 23. And look, it started spiking up at 1 p.m. Another one, NCTY, ran from $16.50 to $20. This thing right here, look at right at 1:30 p.m. starts popping up. And then we had U1 have an epic move. U1 ran from $16 to a high of $24.20. Beautiful move on this. We also had some other stocks pop up and run too. We'll cover those later on. CARV having a nice run. I mean, a lot of good opportunities out here. TKAT had a good pop. A lot of people have been focusing their attention on AMC. Even AMC had a good run into the close on Friday. So, good close on Friday, and hopefully this carries over into next week. Let's take advantage of the opportunities that could come along next week. I still feel like there are going to be plenty of opportunities. We just have to be patient and wait for those opportunities. All right, so AMC, good accumulation down here at 42. You could see I slept on a trend line on this bad boy. This trend line was intact for 1, 2, 3, 4 days, connecting all of the lower highs on this. Finally broke over it here at 44. Had a nice good run up to $50. That psychological level, $50. Pulls all the way down to the VWAP, bounces beautifully right off of that VWAP. Just kisses it. Look at that. Kisses it right there with that wick. And then from 46 all the way back up to $50. And then closes. I think Monday, we potentially could gap up Monday on AMC, but what I think's going to happen, I think it's going to gap down. I think it's going to come all the way back down to this $45, $44 level and then play around at this trend line and hold it as support. And then from there, start working its way back up to 50. All they're doing right now with this is they're testing the supply and demand to see if there's an imbalance there. That's what I feel like's happening. Let's take a look at GameStop. GameStop, nice bottom down here at 200s. Nice rally back into the close. Looking pretty good next week. We could run all the way back up and retest $250, $300 even. Anything's possible. Yeah, nice pullback. Look at that daily. Ran up to 350s. Pulls all the way down to 200. We even said the bottom line for GameStop is 180. That is the bottom line for GameStop. If it falls down below 180, it's finished. It's over. So it held up over 200. That's good. From 200 back up to 250. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Look at this. From $350 in 20 minutes all the way down to $280. That's a $70 sell-off right there. And then if you combined 3 days, this stock pretty much sold off $150 to the downside. From $350 all the way down to $212. That's wicked volatility. AEMD ran up over 300%. Yeah. We were talking about this on Wednesday and Tuesday in the beginning of the week. There were a few stocks that had like stupid gap ups from $2 gapping up to a high of $11. That's stupid. Nobody, that's insane having that gap up. So when we were doing the pre-market prep, we noticed and talked about, hey guys, everything on the gap scanner is having parabolic gap ups. Don't get caught up in the FOMO thinking that these stocks are going to keep going up higher. Take a step back and realize, like, yo, this thing just gapped up $10 from $2 to $12. The chances of it continuing are pretty slim. It's going to get, people are going to get overly excited. They're going to trap longs and they're just going to fade it down and sell it off. And we had like 4 or 5 stocks gapping up Tuesday, Monday. They were just stupid gapping up. I just remember that. And sure enough, what happened? Market opened up. They had one quick failed spike. And then they slowly all faded off. And it was a massacre. It was. Thanks for subscribing to the channel, Lee. Welcome to the Wolf Pack. So guys, thanks again for joining me on this Sunday afternoon. I figured I'd get on here and do the Sunday scan a little bit early. Get it done and out of the way so we can relax, reset, and rest Sunday night and prepare for Monday morning, Money Monday. So real quick, I want to mention, just to get it out of the way real quick, coming up here, June 25th, is going to be our 3-year anniversary on YouTube here. So June 25th, 2018 is when I started creating content on YouTube about day trading, finance, and the stock market. I've been an active day trader for 6 years now. I first started out learning and understanding the markets, learning from multiple people. And then when I started getting some experience under my belt, I wanted to teach other people about the stock markets, finance, investing, day trading. Because I honestly feel a lot of people, they undervalue the stock market. They really do. They end up working for the man their whole life. They invest into their 401ks their whole life, and they don't even know the true meaning of a 401k. They just put money in it. And then when the stock market crash comes, people panic and freak out, and they give in to the fear. And there's a lot of opportunity out here in the stock market. And the more people I can reach and educate them about the unlimited possibilities the stock market offers, then I'm satisfied and happy with that. I love what I do. I love my job. I day trade full time. This is my job. So doing this, YouTube and content creating, this is like a bonus. It's a bonus for me. I love doing this. So thank you, all of you guys. It's been a heck of a journey so far. This 3 years. 3 years. Over 500 videos on this YouTube channel. And I'm almost at 10,000 subscribers. That's amazing. It really is. People overlook that. You know, look at that humble trader. She has almost 1 million subscribers. That's insane. Maybe one day I'll get there. Maybe. I don't know. But to achieve 10,000, I'm getting pretty close. In my eyes, that's a heck of an achievement. I'm proud of that. Thank you, all of you, for sticking with me, watching my content, being a part of this community. Thank you, all members as well. All of you members that have signed up. We're over 100 members that signed up to be a part of this. Thank you, and believing in me, trusting in me, showing up every day, getting on that grind, educating yourself, growing more and more and more. And I very well know the more you show up and learn, the more it opens your eyes to the possibilities that are out here. And that's why I do this. That's exactly why I do this, to help better other people's lives. You know, we're going to see a lot of people come and go in this game. A lot. And you members in here already know how many people have we've seen show up and then leave like a couple weeks, a month later. This isn't for everybody. People think that the stock market is a lottery ticket. You know, they expect to come up in here with a couple $100 and make $1 million in a couple weeks or a month. It's just not going to happen. We're more focused on consistency here. Living to trade another day, right? So don't let one trade take you out. Always focus on living to trade another day and take it one trade at a time. That's our big main focus here. So we're here to develop traders. I want to create trading machines. Emotionless trading machines. That's what I want. All right, so let's get into this Sunday scan. So a lot of stocks that we're going to be keeping on watch, it's still the same, what we've been tracking all week. AEMD, This thing's been pulling back for 2 days. I don't really think anything's going to happen with this. It's just going to slowly fade out. Stocks that I'm interested in are stocks like U1, stocks that have a history of running in the past. U1 has proven to us many times that it likes to run. This thing completely crumbled here after hours. But look at how effortlessly this stock just up and ran. And it just kept pushing and pushing and pushing. From 1750 running up to 2050. Pulling back, holding that psychological $20. From 20, getting a nice push to 21. 2050 running up to 23. Some good clean moves on U1. So I'm going to write these down as we always do every Sunday. So U1, just bounce opportunities. You see how back here all of this was resistance at 1850? When it crumbled and fell apart here after hours, look at it just kiss that support and bounce right up off of it. You have to think of these stocks, guys, as if they're people. They have memory. Stocks have memory. Old resistance now becomes support. Now you got to just trust in what you know. Learning about technical analysis, this stuff is easy. The only thing that you need to continuously work on is your emotional intelligence and psychology, believing in yourself. I get the question all the time from traders, how do I know when to buy? How do I know when to sell? Why am I always buying at the top? Well, you know, when a stock runs down to that support level, you're scared to hit the buy button. That's your fear, because you don't know if that support's gonna hold. So you fear that the stock's gonna blow through that support and have a wicked death candle or something. It's just as the saying goes, guys. Buy fear, sell greed. So you're saying you're a lot more comfortable chasing after momentum, chasing after those high of day breakouts, but then you'll panic and not trust yourself to buy when it's at support. Chances are, the odds are, if you buy at support, you're more likely to make money with the bounce to the upside versus buying at resistance and looking for that push to new highs. You get what I'm saying? Also, for you members out there, this Tuesday or Thursday, what's going to be the dates? Either the 15th or the 17th, we will be doing part 8 of the masterclass. And part 8 of the masterclass, this subject is going to be focused around psychology, emotional intelligence. We're going to dig deeper into that stuff. Last class, we focused on building a playbook, having your own playbook as a trader, and how to go about building a playbook. And I showed you guys some examples of my personal playbook. So part 8, this Tuesday or Thursday, I'll let you guys know. Monday. Whoever called out NCTY in the chat on Friday, good job. Very good job. I forget who that was. Let's see if you guys typed a lot Friday. I don't think I'll be able to find it. Let's see. Cajun Trader made 1,500 profit on NCTY. Good job, man. It's a heck of a trade. It was right here. So before we... Oh, this was Thursday. I'm trying to find it because somebody said before we ended the stream on Friday, somebody mentioned, I think it was Cajun Trader, told me to take a look at NCTY. And when he mentioned NCTY, it was... Let's look at the 3-minute. Let me get my pen out. He called it out, like right here is when he called it out. And we broke it down and said NCTY, it's most definitely still in play, but it's more of like a swing type trade. Because we liked how it kept gearing up and popping up. So it formed a wedge here, popped up out of the wedge, and it was pulling back. That's a very bullish signal right there. Pops up, gears up, pops up, gears up, pops up, gears up, pops up. Nice move Friday. From $16 to $20, that's a $4 move to the upside. And what we try to teach here at Trading Learning 101, and all of the members can attest to this, we want to see it before it happens. So we're out here every day breaking down charts, here every day witnessing what's going on, seeing these setups over and over and over and over again. We look back at these movers, break them down, and remember it for in the future. It's just like that saying from the movie Angels in the Outfield. If you build it, they will come. The baseball diamond in the cornfield. I like to say, if you see the setup, volume will come. Because there's millions of people out here in the world on their stock scanners, stock screeners, blowing through charts every night, looking for that next setup and that next big mover. I'm sorry for blinding you guys. I didn't mean that. If you guys are new to the channel here and you like what you're hearing so far, enjoying the content, hit that subscribe button and hit that like button on the video. I'll appreciate it. So NCTY here on Friday. Let's zoom in on this action. Nice gear up right here. It's like we've seen this before. When you see setups like this and it's gearing up like that, it's like somebody's taking their thumb and pushing down on the stock. Make with all of the lower highs. And then as soon as they release that pressure, that's when you get those good snaps to the upside. So you see here, for an example, stock went from pretty much 1775 all the way down to 1650. And as soon as that pressure got released, it had a nice snap from 1650 to 1775. Almost $1 push right there. Gets a nice little shallow pullback below VWAP. Comes up above VWAP. Holds VWAP just above 17. And look at all that volume come in right here versus the whole day here. That's like that lightning bolt coming into the stock. Let me see how good I am at drawing a lightning bolt. That's not a lightning bolt, but that's what you want. The stock market all revolves around supply and demand. So when you have low supply, low float, that's why a lot of these gurus out here look for low float stocks. You know, everybody has stock scanners and stock screeners, and they look for stocks that hit new high of day. So as the stock comes up and pushes, breaks high of day, it's going off on everybody's stock scanner, and everybody chases after it. And that's where you've seen it before it happened. Good push to 1775, pulls back, holds support at high, day high right here. And from 1775, you could have drawn a trend line on this bad boy and rode it all the way up to want that psychological $20. Does MDIA run up over 100% tomorrow pre-market? I'd have to pull that stock up real quick. Frank says, I keep recommending friends, but if you don't want to do this, probably best to stay away. Takes commitment. I'm with you 100% on that, Frank. Being a trader in the stock market, it takes commitment. It really does. You have to be here every single day. You don't have to put in stupid hours in the stock market during the day. You could show up for a couple hours a day. That's what I do. You guys see it every day in chat. I show up. I'm pretty much done every day by what time? 11:30 noon. And then I go off and I enjoy the rest of my day. But doesn't matter when you're here. You could be here in the morning, the afternoon, or power hour. But you have to be here every day. You have to. You have to get familiar with the market conditions, what's been going on, because we go through those cycles. Stocks could be popping right when that market opens, the first 30 minutes, and then the rest of the day that nothing goes on. Then it changes, nothing goes on the whole day, but then power hour be popping off, and all these stocks be exploding the last hour of the day. And then the cycle changes, and then it goes from stocks have morning dips, they come back, and then they continue pushing higher the rest of the day. Market cycles change all the time. Stocks have their own personalities. When you're joining the team here, James, you are here every week. Jody, GME, Diamond Hands. It's more of like holding and hoping. So we're going to add NCTY to our list. Majority of people that come into this trading, majority of them rely on hope. They buy something and then they just hold on to it and hope. Recently, my brother, my own flesh and blood, got interested in day trading. So I took a step back and I used him as a guinea pig. I gave him some tips and tricks, but I was very observant of how he was talking about the market. And when he would trade stuff, I would always ask for what his opinion was. What was he thinking? And even my own flesh and blood, my brother, you know what? It's the same. Human nature never changes. He would always buy into positions and he'd buy at near high of day, and then he'd hold on to them for a few days, hoping for them to come back. And he'd get lucky. The stock would come back 3-4 days later, push to a new high, but then he wouldn't sell because he got greedy. And I'm like, well, what are you waiting for, bro? How much higher do you think the stock's going to go? And his response was, I don't know. I just thought it would just keep going. So I really learned a few things by just observing my brother in the way he was trading. One stock he got caught up in and is still back holding is OCGN. And look what happened with this. Sure, he got lucky a few times. He would buy into stuff. It'd run up a couple days later. He'd sell it for a good profit. But I was looking at his P&L, and his P&L was just like this. Very choppy, up, down, like back and forth. And I'm like, bro, look at your P&L over the course of time. How can you expect yourself to be consistently profitable if you're having huge swings like this? Your P&L should look something like this, very gradually moving up with little drawbacks and pushing up. But gradually over the course of time, you're going up in an uptrend. You know? So that OCGN came out with bad news. From 950, it slammed all the way down to $5. Back up to 8, now it's at 6. So now going into the future, a year from now, if OCGN ever comes back up to these areas, it's just going to run into back holders. The cycle repeats itself over and over and over and over again in the stock market. It does. All right, let's look at what you said, MDLA. It's like MDLA had a good push here. I don't know why. From $28 to $33. Looks like it's exhausting itself. But who knows where MDLA could go. It's got room to run up to $40. $150 million float. Didn't really have much volume on Friday. Volume on it was only at 10 million. I don't know about MDLA. I really don't. I think it'll probably just fade off. That's my personal opinion, though. And then there were a few people talking about RCON. Look at that, from $17 all the way down to $5. Had a nice little bounce on it. I'm not really interested in something like this. People may look at this as an opportunity to scoop up shares because they're like, it was just trading at $13. Now it's down here. That's a discount. We've seen before, just because stocks have huge sell offs doesn't necessarily mean they have to bounce or come back up to where it was trading. I mean, something pretty drastic like that, that's pretty bad. And look at the past. If you look at the daily chart, look at this. This is a daily chart. So you see here, in the past, the stock had a huge downfall. Sure, it came all the way back up, but look at how long it took for it to do that. From December 7th till January 25th. So a month and a half it took for it to do that. And then it did it again. Right there. Who knows what RCON will do? Kind of like what Ride did. If you guys remember Ride, it had this huge downfall here. You guys can't see it because of this chat. But huge downfall. Nice bounce on it. Back down. It could have another bounce on it again. But as quickly as this fell, like, I'm not gonna lie, it scared me away from this stock. Because anything that just randomly from 1550 just sells off down like that for no reason at all, that's I'm not trying to put my money at risk trading something like that. And then it got driven down even more to $9. But then it finally broke away and bounced right there to 13. Nice 50% bounce from the area it fell from down to the low. We'll throw Ride on our list just to observe it. I probably won't trade Ride, but I know other people in the chat might look at it and trade it. NASCAR All Out. TIRX on 412, almost identical chart to how RCON traded Friday. 2 months later, and TIRX never recovered. Yep, that's what I'm talking about right there. Just because these stocks have huge sell-offs like that doesn't necessarily mean they have to bounce. They don't have to do anything. But it's a very popular trading strategy that traders do like to look out for. They call them the dead cat bounce. I mean, look at here. You had this big sell-off and it bounced. You had a little sell-off here and it bounced. But it doesn't happen every time. What's that other one? VIAC. Look at this one for an example. You see? This thing had a huge sell off, and we kept this on our radar for weeks. And from when was it? March 22nd till now, June 13th. So 3 months later, it still hasn't bounced. So if you got in on this immediately, now you have your money tied up now for 3 months, and you're hoping that it doesn't go lower. You're hoping that it bounces. Dang, when's this thing gonna bounce? I've been holding on to it for 3 months. That was this basket of stocks that did this when Goldman Sachs unloaded the boat. VIAC, DISCA, and look at DISCA Discovery. It's still getting driven down lower. DISCK. There was a couple other ones as well. I forget the names of them though. SKYT. It's a newer IPO. I'd be careful with it. Super light volume. It does have good technical breakouts on the bigger time frame. It just keeps gearing up and popping. But yeah, you never know. All this company needs is a fresh, hot press release, volume to come into it. Yeah, I could definitely see it pushing up higher. You need that press release, like you even said, Frank. It's even a low float too, at 8.2 million. So, sky's the limit on this thing, but like I said, be careful with it because look at the with these low volume stocks. Well, look at one moment it's at $30. You walk away, go to the bathroom, come back, and it's down to $26, $4 a share. And then it comes right back up. I'd put an alert on this, as a matter of fact. I'll put an alert at 29.75. Because if it breaks that $30, it's going to be at all-time highs. And you have to think everybody has their screeners and scanners set up for when stocks hit new day highs, new yearly highs, all-time highs. You know, you see it before it happens, breaks that $30, it's going to go off on everybody's scanners and people are going to chase after it. It's a low float stock. Before you know it, it could be at $50, $60. Who knows? Yeah, that's a good call, Frank. SKYT. You're definitely visualizing it before it could happen. You see the potential. That's all that counts. So you're learning very well, young grasshopper. And then, also, too, to add on to it, you see everything setting up. You said it needs that press release. Let's say everything falls into place and it works out just how you thought it would. Just that feeling yourself, you seen it before it happened. you'd feel so proud of yourself. And when you make that money on it, you feel like you worked for that money. You've seen it. You put together a plan. Everything fell into place. You'll just feel more proud of yourself and you'll get more confidence. Like, all right, now I understand this. You know what I'm saying? Versus me telling you, hey, follow my alert. Buy at 30 and we'll see if volume comes in. We'll put stop loss down at 29, you know? But that's what people want. They want alerts. They want to know when to buy and sell. We're not about that here. Look at ANVS. This one was a big runner recently. From 20 bucks, it ran all the way up to 100 bucks. Who remembers ANVS? And then it had that big sell-off back down to 40s. And now look, it's right back up near its highs. And it's still pushing and creeping up. It's about to break that $100. CAR or ANVS, the float on this is 5.5 million. It's at $100. This thing starts getting volume and perking up, this thing could very well see $150, $200. But be careful with this stock. This stock is a wicked mover. I know you guys remember ANVS in the past. ANVS, I was talking about this a couple weeks ago, June 3rd. We can go back on this thing. There's ANVS back 07/07/2020. Thanks for subscribing, Wazir. From 80 to 95. Yeah, I was trading this a year ago. You guys can't see that. Back July 7th of 2020. I was trading it at 850 to 9. So we remember this stock in the past. And this is why too as well, when we're in the Discord, this is why I always put that money sign before all of my tickers. So I can easily come up here to the search on the Discord and I can look at, I type in money sign ANVS, it's going to pull up every single time I mention this stock in the history of this Discord. So some people just put ANVS or the ticker symbol. I like to be more what you call it, like organized with that money sign. Very underrated tool though in the Discord is that search bar. I'm going to add ANVS to my list. Stock like this starts skipping dollars at a time, guys, at $100. The upside potential could be 50 bucks. I mean, you don't need really to buy many shares of it to make good coin if it's moving dollars at a time. And then also keep ANVS on the back burner and see what sector it's in for any sympathy plays. On, I'm just reading the chat here. We'll also add, of course, to our list AMC, GME. I mean, those are just a gimme every day. We have to keep eyes on those because everybody else is keeping eyes on it. Even BB, BlackBerry. And if you wanted costs, KOSS. Costs a bit tricky though. I'm starting to fall out of love with costs. VXRT, this was the runner on Friday morning. Nice move from $7.50 all the way up to that psychological $10. This is another example, guys and gals, why I pay attention to psychological price levels. You have 5 candles up there, 1-minute candles, all stopping at $10 exactly. And from $10, it was game over, all the way back down to $8. VXRT, it may have a bounce in the coming days. It's a higher float though. The highest I see it bouncing, 950 maybe. That's top. And then we got our NFTs, non-fungible token stocks. The most popular one is TKAT. You know, we also have DLPN, OCG, WKEY. But you see, there's really not much volume flowing into them. The best looking one is TKAT. Now, this is the importance, guys, of being here every day. You just seen how I rattled off all of these NFT stocks. I remember them because I'm here every day, staying familiar with what's been going on. So if I see stocks, a handful of stocks pop up, I could see that. And then in the future, if I see it again, if I see TKAT pop off, like, oh yeah, guys, remember that handful of stocks that all ran with this last time? What were they? DLPN, OCG, WKEY, they all ran together. And NFT stocks were hot for like 2 weeks. And then after that, TKAT has been popping off a little bit. There's always some good squeezes on TKAT. This thing loves to rip dollars at a time. That daily chart, it's really setting up for something. Look at this 65-minute chart. The 65-minute chart, when it ran all the way up here to $40. Since then, it's come down to 15. But look at all these big green juicy candles. That's what I like to see. Those are opportunities. And look at the range from 1650 to a high of 22. 18 to 21. 1850 to 2350. So this stock, when it runs, it can really run dollars, like $4 or $5. That's all you really need. Pick up 500 shares or 1,000 shares and a stock runs up $5. That's $5,000 in your pocket in a day. Look at that. Not even a day. Did it in a pretty much hour and a half. 1850 runs up to 24. That's a $6 move to the upside. From 2 to 3. So 1 hour, it ran up $6. 1,000 shares, that's 6 G's in your pocket. 6K. Most people have to work at a job, what, a month and a half, 2 months to make that kind of money? To make $6,000. That's the possibility of the stock market, guys, and day trading. You wait for that opportunity. And this is why I like paying attention to these higher priced stocks from $10 up to $50 because they move dollars at a time versus a stock that's a 60 cent. What's the most it's going to move? Maybe 10, 15 cent to the upside. But then you really have to load up on shares to buy that stock. So if a stock's at 50 cent and you buy 1,000 shares of it, and if it moves up 10 cent, that's $100. That's it. So you gotta increase your risk buying more shares. Anytime you have to buy more shares of something, guys, your risk only increases. We all know penny stocks, they go down a lot more and more often than they go up. It's just stuff to think about. Did we? No, we didn't add LADS to our list. LADS, Friday, good run from 18 to 23. Beautiful move on this. Look at the surge on that. From right there, 1850 in a blink of an eye, up to 21. It's a $2.50 surge. That's crazy. Alright, so we'll add LADS onto the list as well. I'd want to see LADS hold up near this $20. If this can hold near 20 as support and build off of that, this could easily run up to 25. It could. It's a low float stock, 2.4 million float. Friday, Sava popped off too. Look at this move. This was a $20 move to the upside. Look at that, guys. Look at the opportunity on that. That's what I'm talking about. $68 runs to $87. That's a $20 move to the upside in one day. Not even. From 9:30 to 12:30, 3 hours, half the day. Runs up $20. I get more excited with these types of stocks versus those penny stocks under $1. Like, look at something like that. From $1.10 runs up to $1.35. So it ran up 20 cents in one day. CSCW from $1.12 to $1.24. Hold on, I'm just reading your guys' comments. Let me go back to my main screener. Frank, yes, I'm learning from the best. Woof, your knowledge is getting passed down. Thanks for subscribing, plexers. I've been doing this for 6 years, guys. I love what I do. Should one be worried about shares of SKYT? Looking into it, SKYT has a flow of 7.5 million, but has over 5 times the outstanding shares at 39 million. Does this bring any kind of risk? Sure, it could potentially. That's where you got to get into reading the SEC filings. See, the shares outstanding is the total number of shares, period. That's including locked up shares on the inside. So you'd have to look into the SEC filings to see if they have any shares that they can unload on you in the market. You know, when these companies, you see them all the time as well, they'll give out shares for loans. So they'll give out shares to a millionaire for a loan for some money. And then if that multimillionaire has 500,000 shares and they loaned the company, $1 million, that guy, he could unload his shares any moment. I mean, there's all types of different scenarios that could play out. That's why when it comes to swing trading, I'm not really a swing trader because you just have to do a lot more work. You really have to read the SEC filings. You have to know the company. You got to be familiar, know what you own, right? Yep. A lot of lessons to be learned in the stock market as a trader. I've even till this day, 6 years in, I still learn lessons. Little lessons. And I try my hardest to try and tell you guys everything that I know. And if you're a part of the Discord here, you're with me every day in the chat. So you're seeing my experience. When I'm looking at these charts and every day when we do the pre-market prep, I'm telling you guys what I see, and based off of my experience, what could potentially happen. And I know I make you guys think, and that's good. That's healthy. As a trader, you should always be trying to monitor your thoughts, think outside of the box, always have an open mind, and adjust. Adjusting to situations is so key, because we all know nobody likes to be wrong. Nobody. I don't care who you are. Nobody likes to admit when they're wrong. Nobody likes to be wrong. So when you're wrong, you have to admit it and move on. You have to. And that's where a lot of people fail. They don't want to cut losers. Then they start looking into Twitter and seeing what other people are saying about a stock or a company. Now they're emotionally marrying the company. Now they went from being a trader to a long-term investor. It happens all the time. Yeah, that queen. She's funny. Following that whole drama with the royal family, that's crazy. They're so stuck in their own ways. Let's take a look. ESCA. Wow, that stock's been running up. 5 straight green days. I mean, just slap a trend line on it. See how it keeps riding the blue line? Until that trend breaks, it's still bullish. Sure, it can slam down super hard in one day. You know, all it takes is for one person to ruin the party for everybody with the low volume and the low float. But this is nothing I would chase after and put my money into. What does the blue line represent? The blue line is the previous day's close. So CLNE, on Thursday, it closed at 11. So it'll plot it out the next day for me. So I can easily see, you know, people base strategies around something like this. The previous day's close, the opening price. Street Smart Edge won't allow me to plot out the opening price. I don't know why, but if I could have that as well, I would. But you could see it lines up with it pretty well. Stock opens up, finds support right at the previous day's close line, falls down below it, then it's all acting as resistance, gets above it, pulls down, now it's holding as support. We always say there's multiple people and groups of people out here in the markets. I call them cult followings. There are cult followings for all types of stuff. There's a cult following of people that base their trades or how they look at charts based on the previous day's close, the opening price, VWAP, Fibonacci, MACD, RSI. The list goes on and on and on and on. It's really a fascinating thing when you sit back and think about this type of stuff. It really is. That's why I'm so infatuated with the stock market, because the more I seemed to learn and the more I continue to learn, I learn more about myself as a trader and as a man, a human being, more about the world, how the world revolves around the stock market. Like, you'll blow your mind. You'll find out stuff about yourself that you would have never even thought of just by being a trader and growing. It's crazy. My new saying that I really like is how everybody at the end of the year always makes that resolution. I'm going to lose weight this year. Yeah, this year is my year. We're going to lose weight. And then the first couple weeks of the year, they're really into it, and then they stop. Same thing goes for trading. People get all excited. They say they're going to do this, and then a couple weeks go by, and then they quit. Oh, I don't have enough time. I'm busy. I have a full-time job. I can't. All I hear are excuses, excuses, excuses. I have kids. I can't. It's called sacrifice. You gotta sacrifice something to go after what you want. If everything was easy, everybody would be doing it. Everybody. All right, let's blow through this list real quick. ORPH. This had an epic run. Epic run. This was on Watch Friday for any type of bounce. We had this on Watch right out of the open. We said be super, super cautious with ORPH. This thing, it could be very, very deadly. This is an account killer stock. But if it started to break up in over 15, it could easily run up to 20, 25 is what we said. But when this opened up and it immediately got halted, and when they would reopen it and it'd get halted again, it's untradeable. When the halts get too out of hand like that, it's just best to stay away. Don't get FOMO. Don't get caught up in the greed. It could just be a disaster. And just look at it. Look at how random this was. from 11 runs up to 13 halt. They reopen it at 1450. It slams down to 1225. Then they rip it back up to 1550, halt it again. Then when they reopen it, it gets a quick pop, and then they slam it down into a halt. And then they reopen it, it gets another quick pop, and then slams down into another halt. So imagine being caught in on this, and you're frozen because of the price action. It's moving so violently and so fast, you're freaked out and you're freezing. And you just watch this stock go from 1550 to 1150, we'll say. That's a $4 downfall. And then you didn't consider your size as well. Always consider your size based on how volatile a stock is. So if you're used to trading 1,000 shares and then you come across a stock like this, you got to gauge, all right, this is like times 5 more volatile than the stocks that I'm used to trading. So I'm going to take that into factor if I place this trade. It's times 5 more volatile than what I'm used to trading. I'm used to trading with 1,000 shares. Maybe I'll only buy 200 shares of it. You got to try to protect your downside. Because if it doesn't work in your favor, you can cut it and it's not going to hurt you. And this all comes back to what did we say at the beginning, guys? Live to trade another day. Always have that mindset. You want to live to trade another day. Do not let one stock take you out. If you guys have been with us throughout this whole video, you're new to the channel here, everything that I've been talking about and saying has been really hitting home with you. And you're like, yeah, this dude's on it. This dude's on point. He knows what he's talking about. What are you waiting for? Join the wolf pack. What are you waiting for? Hit that join button. Join the team here. We're all out here every single day, guys. I pump it in every single video. We're all out here as a team working together, watching each other's backs, having multiple eyes in the stock market. Being a part of a team is a lot better than being by yourself. Being with the team, you see what other people are going through, how they're progressing. People call out stuffs. I even give reminders out all the time. Hey guys, be cautious out here. What have we been seeing every day? Failed follow through and momentum. We've been seeing high of day breaks at the end of the day. Like, oh yeah, I didn't even notice that. Oh, I'm going to keep that in mind. Like, hey guys, stay away from ORPH. It's a account killer stock. Then you take your hand off that mouse and be like, yeah, he's right. This stock's moving way too wild. I was getting too caught up in my emotions and my thoughts, getting FOMO of missing out on something like this. Telling you guys, you want to be a part of a team. You don't want to be by yourself. ORPH failed follow through. People gave up on it. It may pop up again with that super low float on it. We can keep it on our watch list. Maybe something down the road happens. Who knows? I'll put an alert on this at 12. If it pops up, it pops up. We also had GLTO have an epic supernova move on Thursday. And look what happened on Friday. Stalled out, people gave up on it. Epic run though, from $5 to $16, non-stop, halts to the upside. Even GLTO, if this ever comes back and pushes up above 7, it may get people's attention. So I'll put an alert on GLTO at $7. And like I said, I'll just set these alerts and I'll move along. I'll forget about it. And then in the trading day, if the alert triggers, I can pull up this chart in the stock and I can reevaluate it. Next up, MEDS. This had a really good move on Thursday. Nice gap up from 4 to 6. Then this stock was a weird one. We were talking about this pre-market. And I know you guys remember. This was so odd. Because it was down here at 5. And in the pre-market prep, we said, look at that daily chart. You have all kinds of moving averages right at 550. But then when MEDS opened, it gapped up above 6. And it started running and going back and forth. And this had a good move from 650 to 1075. I remember talking about this. Even deviating, recorded some of the action on it with a bookmap. I put a price alert on it at $9.93. Irish Wolf made just over $70 on it. MEDS looks like it's going to explode. I can't remember. I know I traded MEDS. I know I did. Yup, I did. I made almost $7,000 on MEDS. MEDS, I seen that coming a mile away. I jumped in 3,000 shares. This is the supernova run. The volume is just insane. Still holding, selling over 9. It's going to 10, like I said. Seen this so many times, guys. And MEDS from 675 ran up to 875, pushed up to 10. It topped out at almost $11. That was a good run. And then after it ran to 11, look at all that volume. Look at all of that volume push in on it. And then it also decreased as the day went on. With momentum, you got to attack it when it's there. After the stock starts topping out and then you're waiting for a bounce, you're just at more risk. And after 11, just a straight downfall. all the way back to 650. It's back down now to $5. Maybe you'll see a bounce on it. 650, maybe 750 bounce, maybe 3 million float. I'm going to add it just to my list. I just want to see Monday. I want to check it Monday pre-market and see where it's at. If it's holding 550, I like it. $6. Like I said, it can definitely bounce up to 750. I can see it. RMED, nothing. VTNR. It's actually pulling back pretty well. This is that stock that kept coming back. That's what this is. Look at that daily chart. That's a nice pullback. It's holding its gains. And I think it was I want to say Ginger in chat that called out VTNR on Thursday when it came back here. And from 8 it ran up to almost 950. That's a good run. Look at that nasty downfall. 880 all the way down to 780. I'm going to put a price alert on VTNR $9. I don't know if I want to add it to my list. Let me blow through this list real quick, guys. NEXT was a stock in play recently. If that he really needs to break $6 to get volume back into it. Thanks for subscribing, VPA. Welcome to the Wolf Pack. Okay. Wish and that CLOV. We're still waiting for potential bounces on this. Thanks for subscribing, T-Sun. Welcome to the Wolf Pack. So Wish and CLOV for potential bounces. Let me write those down. AEMD. It's too far gone. I'll put an alert at $8. MVIS. This is a big fan favorite in the Discord. The explosiveness on MVIS, it just likes to run and skip dollars from 1850 to 23 bucks. I mean, that's a good move. Look at that one. 21 to 24.50. Yeah, let's keep MVIS on watch. Stock really likes to run. All right, okay. RIOT and MARA with Bitcoin. Those are my two favorite stocks to follow with Bitcoin. Sure, there are other names out there that run in sympathy with Bitcoin, but this is just personal preference. I like Riot and Mara when it comes to Bitcoin. So we can keep those on our list as well, because we know everybody and their mother is talking about Bitcoin. It's really on fire. And I am still keeping my price target for Bitcoin at 15,000. That's where I see it going. People think I'm crazy, but I really think Bitcoin's going to that. CLNE, it's pulling back. It likes to run and move. A really nasty stock. Maybe a bounce, maybe. But this stock is so wild. Look at that. That's just ugly. 13.50, 11.50. So you got a $2 downfall. Surges back up. Man, this stock. Look at the name of it. Clean Energy Fuels. It does look like it's getting really tight though on the whatchamacallit 10-minute chart. On this chart right here. It's getting really tight. So we may see a bounce on CLNE to 12, maybe 12.50. I'm actually going to write that in the Discord. What did we say? CLNE bounce 12. Okay. 12, 13. It's getting tight on that 10-minute. A lot of stocks, guys. A lot of stocks. NOVN. Did I set an alert on this? Breaks over 15, it could run up to 16, 17. I like the NOVN for a bounce. Since Bed Bath & Beyond had that epic run, it's really been kind of nasty. Look at the downfalls on the 10-minute. It does look like it's setting up a wedge, though. Connect the highs here. You got clear support at 31. You guys see it? There's a wedge forming here, so it could pop back up to 35. Yeah. Hmm. Let me go back over your guys' comments here. Pumpers are more comfortable as it'll be harder for outside company to interfere with the direction the stock is heading. I don't get what you're trying to say there, Breezy Tube. Don't look into it too much. Don't overcomplicate things. I see a lot of people out there, they like to overcomplex the situation. Just try to keep things simple and you'll be alright. EYES. Oh, wow. Yeah, most definitely. I would keep EYES on watch. I'll actually put an alert on this. Over 7. The technical breakout on this looks really good. That's a good find. I like how it's gearing up right here. It's like primed and ready. A press release would have this thing running. You could see it running up to 10 easy. Good call. CLNE has the 6th highest average Wall Street bet mentions, the 3rd highest today. Yeah, I hear a few people mention and talk about PLTR. I've never really gave it too much attention though, because it just doesn't have enough range for me. You see on the 1 minute, it's really stale. I like stocks that go boom. But PLTR, it does look like it's trying to squeeze up. Over 25. It's just, it likes to, it's a lot of back and forth with PLTR. You can see how with my trend lines, I was watching it here in the past. Looks good though. Good job on PLTR. PLTR and LAZR is the other one people like to watch. LAZR, it's more of like a swing trade type stock. This even looks like it's trying to gear up for a push up to 30. Mossy was a recent pump way back here. This had a nice run from 8 to 1050. SPCE, this is another fan favorite, one of Elon Musk type stocks. This is more of a swing trade as well. Like how it's gearing up. Never underestimate SPCE. This stock has gone on some wicked runs. BNGO. That looks like it's trying to gear up for something. It's not worth watching though. OEG. See, this was another one of those parabolic gap ups. And look what happened the days after. Right back down to where it came from. A lot of these stocks, I'm just blowing through them because if it pops up one day, I'll just throw it on my list to see how it plays out. Majority of the time, they just fade off. IHT last week. I bet you guys all forgot about this one. This one had a good run from $8.50 to almost $15. Throughout this whole stream, how many stocks have I shown you guys that had big runs from $8 to almost $20? Quite a few. Probably over 10. 10 different stocks. That's why I love paying attention to stocks from $5 up to $50. That's my range. Because the opportunity on these. Oh my goodness. Even if you were on a whole move like from $8.50 to $15, even if I caught a little piece of that and made $1 per share, I'm happy with that. You could do that every day. That's all that counts. Remember, I don't want the whole pie. I only want a slice of the pie. That's it. Let me go back to IHT. We could still keep IHT on our list. It's a very, very wild moving stock. You got to be careful with IHT. Because look at this. If you chase after IHT, you can get burnt. 950 runs up to 12 and then gives back 80% of that spike right there. We have been watching IHT for what? A month and a half? Us members in the Discord. We all know how IHT likes to move. GBR popped up way back here. This thing ran from what? That's the daily. Yeah, this just had like a $2 run one day. GEO, this thing ran from 650 to 11. This thing was wild. Look at that. Look at all that volume this one day. And then after that, it didn't do nothing. Not a dang thing. So it just goes to show you with these small priced penny stocks, they're garbage company, guys. Don't emotionally marry them. We just trade them and abuse them the day it's popular and then move on to something else. Sure, we have stocks that pop up and they'll hang around for days, weeks, but it's very few of them. LGVN, that didn't do anything. CYTH. Alright, so I can go through now and delete this list on Street Smart Edge. Yeah, we talked about MDIA already. That's that one that ran from 28 to like 30 something. Oh, this one, okay. Uh, what was the news? They got a new CEO. Up at 720. Sure, you can keep an eye on MDIA come Monday. I personally don't think it's going to do anything. I think people are going to forget about it because something else is going to pop up Monday on the gap scanners. I don't know. We'll see if MDIA continues on Monday. I really don't know what will happen. I hope it continues to run because it's at all-time new highs. I'll throw it on my list. How about that? I mean, it doesn't hurt to throw it on your list. And if it gaps up and keeps going and volume keeps pushing into it, then maybe I'll throw it up on my charts and see if it sets up for any good opportunity for a trade on Monday. So it doesn't hurt to keep it on watch. Let me add all these stocks to my list real quick. So I'm adding U1, NCTY, RIDE, ANVS, LEDS, VTNR, Wish, CLOV, MVIS, NOVN, BBBY, IHT, GME, AMC, BB, Riot, Mara, and I'll also throw on CLNE. I'll also throw CARV. Oh, and TKAT. Don't forget about that one. How's Playboy been doing? PLBY. Nice pullback on Playboy. Ooh, DraftKings looks like it's got a nice squeeze going on. I'm gonna add DraftKings to my list. And I'm also gonna put an alert. So you have the daily chart, that 200-day moving average. It might be a death cross, but that 200, if it crosses up over that 50, you could see a nice run. $60, 65. We'll see what happens. MDLY. Yeah, that thing. That was insane. This is what I was talking about earlier. This happened on Friday. We've seen a lot of parabolic gap ups. PRD. Yep. We talked about and I added TKAT to my list, and I talked about and added ANVS. ANVS over 100. That it really could see 150. It could. We all know it can run. WPG. Wow, we've been streaming for 2 hours. What? So what are you guys gonna be watching come Monday? Are there any stocks you guys want to mention real quick? Let me share this watch list with the chat. And then tonight I'll see if any other stocks pop up that I'll add to my list. Man, I hate getting spammed in the DMs from people will come in here and they'll put their name, analysis. So like Brian analysis. And they'll hit me up asking if I need any analysis in the server. Like, dude, we're just here working together as a team. There's really no like priority, like listen to everything this one dude says. Should be an interesting week this upcoming week. We'll have to see what gaps up Monday. Let's take a look at the SPY real quick. SPY still hitting all-time new highs. I mean, look at that. Just keeps going and going and going. Nobody wants the party to end. So sky's the limit, right? Who knows how much further the SPY will go, if it'll correct, if it'll crash. Just take it a day at a time. Watching AMPY. PGLS. RRD. BRFS. Wow. All of them look like they've ran up a lot already. Remember the saying, if you're seeing it, it's too late. But what do I know? I'm just a stupid trader out here. Anything could happen. Hopefully they go to the moon. Like this. Where is it at? To the moon. Get that rocket dog out. All right, you guys. Thanks for joining me on this Sunday stock scan. If you guys are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Join the Wolf Pack. We're coming up on our 3-year anniversary here on YouTube, June 25th. Enjoy the rest of your evening, your Sunday. Rest, relax, and get ready for Money Monday. As I say, guys, have that patience, have that discipline, study, study, study.